would you give for a child you loved to make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
This is an ABC News special report, a presidential address to the nation. Now reporting, David Muir.
Good evening. We're coming back on the air tonight because President Biden is about to address the nation from the Oval Office concerning the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Expected to call for unity in this country and to call for Americans to condemn political violence across the nation. The investigation into this horrific act is moving very quickly tonight. And of course, by now, the world has seen these images. Former President Donald Trump taking the stage for his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania last night. It was just 8.5 minutes or so after walking onto that stage, a gunman opening fire. Trump's right ear was hit. The president seen reaching for his ear before finding cover behind that podium. You can hear the screams there in the video. Secret Service rushing the stage, racing to get him into a nearby SUV. Tonight, law enforcement revealing new details about the alleged gunman, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. They say he used an AR-style rifle owned by his father. And tonight here, the chilling photographs from New York Times photographer Doug Mills appearing to show one of those bullets very close to the president's head. Another image, Trump reaching for his wounded right ear, his hand pulling away, blood clearly on his fingers. The Secret Service says the suspect was armed with that rifle that was legally purchased by his father. Tonight, we want to listen to the president as he now addresses the nation about this political violence, this attempted assassination. Let's listen to the president.
Fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors, we're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we are fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back. Take stock of where we are, how we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed. Corey was a husband, a father, a volunteer firefighter, a hero, sheltering his family from those bullets. We should all hold his family and all those injured in our prayers. Earlier today, I spoke about an ongoing investigation. We do not know the motive of the shooter yet. We don't know his opinions or affiliations. We don't know whether he had help or support or if he communicated with anyone else. Law enforcement professionals, as I speak, are investigating those questions. Tonight, I want to speak to what we do know. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. We've traveled it before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer, whether it's with members of Congress of both parties being targeted and shot, or a violent mob attacking the Capitol on January 6th, or a brutal attack on the spouse of former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, or information and intimidation on election officials, or the kidnapping plot against the sitting governor, or an attempted assassination on Donald Trump. There is no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that. Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. I've said it many times that the choice in this election we make in this election is going to shape the future of America and the world for decades to come. I believe that with all my soul. I know that millions of my fellow Americans believe it as well. and some have a different view as to the direction our country should take. Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature. But politics must never be a literal battlefield, and God forbid, a killing field. I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice, to make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. We stand for an America, not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace. All of us now face a time of testing as the election approaches. And the higher the stakes, the more fervent the passions become. This places an added burden on each of us to ensure that no matter how strong our convictions, we must never descend into violence. The Republican convention will start tomorrow. I have no doubt they'll criticize my record and offer their own vision for this country. I'll be traveling this week making the case for our record and the vision, my vision of the country, our vision. I'll continue to speak out strongly for our democracy, stand up for our Constitution and the rule of law, to call for action at the ballot box, no violence on our streets. That's how democracy should work. We debate and disagree. We compare and contrast the character of the candidates, the records, the issues, the agenda, the vision for America. But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets. The power to change America should always rest in the hands of the people, not in the hands of would-be assassins. You know, the path forward through competing visions of the campaign should always be resolved peacefully, not through acts of violence. You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country on earth, and I believe that with every soul, every power of my being. So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to think about it. What's made America so special? Here in America, everyone must be treated with dignity and respect, and hate must have no safe harbor. Here in America, we need to get out of our silos, where we only listen to those with whom we agree, where misinformation is rampant, where foreign actors fan the flames of our division to shape the outcomes consistent with their interests, not ours. Let's remember, here in America, while unity is the most elusive of goals right now, nothing is more important for us now than standing together. We can do this. You know, from the beginning, our founders understood the power of passion. So they created a democracy that gave reason and balance a chance to prevail over brute force. That's the American we must be. An American democracy where arguments are made in good faith. An American democracy where the rule of law is respected. An American democracy where decency, dignity, fair play aren't just quaint notions, but living, breathing realities. We owe that to those who come before us, to those who gave their lives for this country. We owe that to ourselves. We owe it to our children and our grandchildren. Look, let's never lose sight of who we are. Let's remember we are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. God bless you all. May God protect our troops.
President Biden calling on unity from this country. Let's bring in Mary Bruce, our chief White House correspondent. Mary, we were told by this White House that the president would ask for all Americans to condemn political violence across this country, and that's what he did tonight.
David, this was a heartfelt call for unity from the president, a strong condemnation of political violence. The president there straight off the bat saying it is time to lower the temperature in our politics, urging the nation to come together. But the president also recognizing just how difficult that is to do in this incredibly divisive time in our country. The president saying that this is a time of testing and that the higher the stakes, the greater the burden. And given what he himself has argued is at stake in this election, it is going to be very difficult to do what the president is doing. But he is essentially issuing a challenge to all Americans today to take out their anger and frustration at the ballot box, not through violence, essentially arguing that it is counter to what this country stands for, David.
All right, Mary Bruce at the White House tonight as the president addresses the nation after this attempted assassination on former President Trump, calling for unity across our nation, saying we can have our political opinions, we should embrace each other's opinions, but we must do so peacefully, calling on all of us to condemn political violence. I should note that many of us here in the East will be watching a special report from ABC News just moments from now on the attempted assassination of former President Trump. Stay tuned for that. And many of you in the West will be able to see that same special at 8 p.m. in the West as well. Stay tuned. That special for millions of Americans begins right now.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
A+++++.
Monday.
We're not in LA anymore, baby. I'm in Australia.
The Bachelorette goes down under.
I feel like I have a connection with a lot of these guys.
When the guys get roasted on the Barbie,
You look like the budget Pete Davidson.
can love still get bloomin'?
Hey, let me talk to you for a second.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is you just embarrass yourself.
I'm here for someone who is willing to put me in front of the drama.
Thursdays are your lucky night.
You don't have to have skills to win bills.
One press is all it takes.
First, it's the season premiere of Press Your Luck.
Press them or pass them.
Press my luck!
Then the series premiere of Lucky 13, hosted by Gina Rodriguez and Shaquille O'Neal.
It's true or false trivia.
With a Shaq-sized jackpot.
The first star of The Bachelor is now older than the Golden Bachelor.
Oh my gosh.
Your luck begins Thursday on ABC and stream on Hulu.